to do these synthesis equations. So starting off, we should find the charges of the two elements. So sodium has a charge of +1 if we check the periodic table. And chlorine has a charge of -1. So the rule to find the product is to swap the two charges. So when we swap it, we have NaCl1 and 1, because you just swap the ones and ones. And the ones, well, you just write it as NaCl. You don't have to write the ones. The ones are like invisible. They're there because like it's always one. If there's nothing, it means there's one. So now we have the product, but we have to balance both sides. Now we've done this before, so let's do it. So we check how we have 1 sodium here and 2 chlorines. 1 sodium on this side and 1 chlorine. Now what we want to do is balance out each of these elements so there's the same amount on each side. So how do we get the same for this chlorine and that chlorine? Well, we have to make it 2 chlorines on this side, right? So we can just add a 2. Now we will have 2 chlorines, but we will also have 2 sodiums. But that's not really much of a problem. Because we have 2 sodiums here, to balance out and make 2 here, all we have to do is add a 2. Now that we have that, we have a completely balanced equation right here. We have N sodium right here with 2. And on the other side, sodium also has 2. Chlorine, 2 on the left and 2 on the right. So this equation, fully written out, would look something like this. 2 sodium plus this is, as you can see, we have 2 sodiums and 2 chlorines. Because the 2 applies to the chlorine as well. Now let's do the second one. Move this up here. I should move all of this actually. So it's the same process for aluminum and fluorine. To start, we find the charges. So aluminum has a charge of +3, and fluorine has a charge of -1. So as I said before, we swap the charges. Once we swap the charges, what do we get? We can just write it here because that's what we're going to start with. We have 1 aluminum and 3 fluorine. I'm going to erase the 1 by the aluminum to make it more clear, because as I said before, it's basically like invisible. If there's nothing, that means there's a 1. So right now we have the equation aluminum plus fluoride, I think, is this, aluminum and F3. So now we just have to balance the equation. So let's check. Aluminum has 1 on this side, and then fluorine has 2. Aluminum on this side has 1, but fluorine has 3. So to balance both fluorines on both sides, we would have to have the same amount of fluorines. To do this, we can just find the LCM of the two numbers. And this is just simple math, so we can know that the LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. Because 2 times 3 equals 6, and 3 times 2 equals 6. So now that we have that, we can add a 2 to the start of the product. That way we can get 6 fluorine. And we can add 3 to the fluorine on that side. So we can also have 6 fluorine right there. I'm going to erase this to make it a bit more clear. So now we have 6 fluorines on both sides, but because there's a 2 here, the aluminum, we will have 2 aluminums as well. Well, this side only has 1 right here, so to make it 2, we will just add a 2. So now that both sides are balanced. If we write this out, we will get 2AL plus 3F2 2AL F3. And if we count, we will see that we have 2 aluminum and 6 fluorine, 2 aluminum, oops, wrong order, 2 aluminum and 6 fluorine. Right? So now that equation is balanced, and this over here is the correct answer. We can look for some more examples. This over here is a really simple example. Let's solve it. So hydrogen has how many? Hydrogen is +1. And fluorine is, pretty sure it's -1. Yes, it's -1. So when you swap it, we'll get H1F1, which equals HF. Now, on the left side, we have 2 and 2, and we have 1 and 1 on the right side. So to balance it, this one's really simple. We just added 2. Now both sides will be balanced, and yeah, that's how we solve this one. For examples for synthesis. So in this worksheet, synthesis is B, F, and M. M we've already done, but so we're working on B and F. So for B, how many, well, what's the charge for H? Oops. We can check on the periodic table. It's 1, +1. Chlorine, pretty sure it's -1. Yeah, it's -1. So what do we get? HCl, right? HCl. Well, this one's pretty simple. It's a lot like M. It's basically M, but with different elements. So we have 2 hydrogen, 2 chlorine, 1 hydrogen, 1 chlorine. So what do? We add 2, so we get 2. So now it's balanced. And yeah, that's the answer. Pretty simple. It's really simple once you get it. Now let's try this. What is P? I forgot what P is. P is phosphorus. Okay, so it's 5, 3, and -3. Well, in this case, we would just do both of them. So it's, what was it again? Oh, it was 5, 3, and -3. So 3 and -3 are the same thing, because when we write them, they're both going to be 3. So we would just do 3 and 5. And chlorine, as we saw over here in B, it's -1. So for the first combination, it would be P and then Cl3. And the second one would be PCl5. So let's do this. Starting off with PCl3. Well, to balance this, we have 4 P's over here, 2 chlorines. We have 1 P here. and 3 chlorines. So how do we balance this? Well, starting off, let's see. So P, we have 4 over here, so we also want 4 on the right side. That way we have 4 P. But now for chlorine on the right side, we have 12 of them. Now, how do we get 12 on the left side as well? Well, we add 6. And then we also have 12. So now it's balanced. So one of the answers would be P4 plus 6Cl2 is 4PCl3. Now let's head into the second answer. I'll move all of this aside so we can do it. Let's go again. So the next one would be, that's not P, PCl5. All right, let's go. So we should first we should count. So we have 4, 2, 1, and 5. So how do we do this? We would again first give the P 4 because it has 4 on the left side. Therefore, we want 4 on the right side as well. So we add 4. Now we have 4P. But because we have the 4, we will now have 20 chlorine. Now, everything is balanced, P4, P4, except for the chlorine. So chlorine, how do we get from 2 to 20? Well, we multiply by 10. So we add 10. And now we have 20. And everything is balanced. So the second one would equal P4 plus 10Cl2 is 4PCl5. And there you have it. We have the 2 examples. And that's all we have for synthesis. And I'll go into the next one. Alright.